Hello, everyone. Again, our topic today is pricing impact of product trials. And we share an interesting case study today from Fermentea Bio-Kombucha, where we ran a product test using UTRYME and a pricing test using super tools. So the agenda for today is, first, would like to make sure you know what UTRYME is, right? So, and I will get the word. After that, I'm talking a bit about pricing research, so you understand why we use this new methodology called implicit price intelligence. And then we dive into the case study and have a Q&A later on. So, hi, Andre, could you tell us a bit, what is UTRYME?
So, hello, Frank. Hello, Wolfgang. Hello, dear visitors. Great to have you here. My name is Andre, co-founder and CEO of UTRYME, first online dry supermarket in the world. I will show you what UTRYME is doing, why we do it, and how it works out. And well, I'll just start, and probably you will see my screen right now, I guess. Is that right, Frank? Can you see
Not yet. Probably I need to stop sharing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, now we see the screen.
Great. All right. So this is UTRYME. What we basically do is we give people possibility to try new products, to pack their own box, which is sent to their homes. And well, we've got 230,000 users registered at UTRYME, Germany and Austria. And after the registration process, people have possibility to pick their products. And it's quite easy because they just choose whatever they want. Let's say they want to try a Hop House 13 beer. They want to try some sweets from Trolley. They want to try some fish. And well, step by step, the cart is filling up itself, depending on which is the price of the product, which you can't see actually. So people have like a trade-off situation, and they have to choose what they really want to try. And well, afterwards they have to pay a like service and shipping fee. Product itself, it's for free. They can choose every product only once, and obviously they will choose only the products they're interested in, which basically means that well, only products are chosen which are interesting for the community. This is basically it. And actually UTRYME did a cooperation with Fermentea, with 2 products. And well, this was like the initiation of this webinar today. And I think now we will see what happened, Frank. Is that right?
Yeah. So maybe can you tell the audience, what is the brand which is cooperating with you? What do they get from you beside when they choose to do the pricing analysis?
Obviously. Okay. So what we basically what we have, this is our target group. We know which age, which gender, and which region, and we basically tell our cooperation partners which was the audience or the target group of the people who chose their product, and which is the difference between the UTRYME audience and the people who tried the product. So they can see clearly, well, okay, probably my product is more interesting for female between 18 and 39 in the south of Germany and Austria, for example. And plus we have many trial contacts, and you know, if probably you guys only buy the products in the supermarket you've tried before, Actually, this is what all German and Austrian people do every week. And we give the first contact to a product, between the product and the community, which is the first step to create new clients for our cooperation partners. We are working with 750 brands, started 5 years ago. And yeah, well, this is basically it. And every day there are coming new cooperation partners, new brands to UTRYME. So if you wanna join a cooperation, just contact us as well.
So you can really find out whether or not your product will, first of all, get some initial buyers.
Yes.
And also whether or not they will like it.
Actually, this is it. Yes.
Wonderful. So yeah, stop share the screen so I can share mine again. Here we go. So that's what we did, right? We took these 2 products to the test. And this were sampled basically, and we interviewed with pricing research people who have tried it, and we interviewed people who did not, basically a representative sample of the population, right? So but first, let's talk about pricing research, because there are many methods, and actually existing market research methods have some problems today. Yeah, there are basically 4 issues. First, running a proper pricing research method is expert-owned, which means most people don't feel comfortable in running it themselves. Yeah, if you are a brand manager, you probably don't feel comfortable in running a conjoint and setting it up and so forth, because it's complicated, right? And that's why it's expert-owned, and this makes it slow, expensive, right? So, and what we would found out in a scientific study from the University of Australia, that even the most elaborated method called conjoint analysis has, for this typical products we are talking about, quite a low validity. So how can we fix this problem? And actually, we can fix this problem by looking back and going back and think about how our buying decisions are made. And buying decisions are made 95% intuitive and instinctively. And this is true even in B2B, right? That's a basic learning from neuroscience, that even rational results are typically guided by an initial gut feeling or an existing association, right? Which we can actually measure before people are aware of things. We can measure what their intuition is. So to understand better and to measure better the reaction towards a price, we should use and we should measure intuition. And there are 3 methods: EEG, fMRG, and the IAT. IAT means implicit association test. And the first 2 require a lab to do that, which is expensive and takes time. And the implicit association test is possible through an online questionnaire. That's actually what Supra is building on, right? And with that, it bridges an important gap, right? So there are inexpensive methods like Garber-Granger, and there are methods which are regarded as reliable, like conjoint. But what we need and what companies are needing is something which is very reliable and inexpensive and easy, we call it democratization of pricing research. That's exactly what the Supra price optimizer is doing. The question is, how does it do it? And all goes back to research from the University of Hanover, initiated by Dr. Steffen Schmidt. And there are early papers in 2016. And we had success drivers then took that and advanced it further with machine learning. And the result is a method we call implicit price intelligence, where we take the implicit association test and improve the findings with machine learning. The reason are the measurement is still, there are still biases in that. For instance, there are anchoring effects when you show people the product with a certain price. The price is the highest one they have ever seen. It will appear to them more expensive, just because it is in this situation the highest price. But machine learning can see that his result is just because of that. That's how we use machine learning to debias everything, and the result is spectacular because now with very small sample sizes, you get very robust price demand curves. So the method is, and there is research on that: better, easier, faster, and with fewer costs. Again, this was a result of the university study where we also compared the demand prediction of the methods, of these 4 methods, against the real market share of the products which were part of the study. And the highest correlation were by far the implicit intelligence method. Yeah, so it's more reliable than the existing ones. And not only that, it's also more easy and more cost effective. So the conclusion of the study was conjoint is great, but actually best for product optimization, not so much for pricing. Van Westendorp is great for exploring the price range, but finding the optimal price, it's not the right method. Garber-Granger is a good quick assessment, yeah, because it's super easy to do and easy to understand. But of course, with pricing, this is your single most important lever of profit. So you don't want to give that by chance. So it makes sense to apply the best method for demand predictions and price optimization, also because it's quite reasonable to do that. That was a study of the university. But now let's go into the case study. And what I would like to do is first off show you the tool, because this Supra tool is actually a tool which you can use yourself, right? You can of course ask when you are a UTRYME customer, you can ask UTRYME to use their service to run it. You can ask ours to run it, but actually it's most cost efficient if you simply do it yourself. What you do is basically you go here at app.supra.tools, and if you can open an account for free. And basically, you enter the menu, which gives you 3 steps to run the study. It takes 5 minutes to set it up. So we just did it here. Where is it? Here. We have one study set up for testers, so people who tested this product, and for a control group. So you simply push a plus, and then you get to the screen where you say, hey, this is a name, this is a description of the product, and you upload a picture, right? After uploading a picture, you need to define the kind of the price range. And that's it, right? And once you have done that, for the products you have tested, you simply push start. And if the field is over, analysis done, typically 1 to, depending on the size of the study, days later, you get the results. So, so where do I start? Probably I start by looking at people who are in the control group, because the typical pricing research you would do on a panel, you have a new product and you want to know, okay, what's the optimal price for this new product, right? So, and what you get here, this is for Cocoa Passion, right? The Cocoa Passion product. What you get here is the price demand function. You have the prices here on the x-axis, and the orange line is basically the demand, which means at a price of 99 cents, around 65 or 64% of people would buy it in an ideal case. So if there is, if everything is configured well and there's no competition seen and so forth, right? So it's a relative demand function. And it's enough to have this relative demand function to find the optimal price, because everything which changes this demand is just a factor. It doesn't change the curve. That's this idea is so powerful and enables you to easily optimize your pricing. So, and the green line is the profit. And the profit is defined by certain settings. You actually need to enter the costs to make the product, the taxes which are included in the shelf price, and the retail margin which get the retailer and not you as a brand, right? And depending on what you are setting up here, if you're making it more expensive, if it's more expensive to make, the optimal price will very much change, right? So, and of course, we cannot reveal here the costs to make it, and actually, I don't know it either. I just guessed here 20 cents. And I guessed 50% retail margin. And at this price, we have for people who did not try the product yet, right? Which for a new product is every customer. We have a range where basically between 119 to 169, it's the same profit, right? Of course, at the lower end, you sell actually nearly double as much, but the margin is much smaller, right? So there is a trade-off between margin and sales volume. So, and that's basically in balance between those price points. Yeah. So let's take this example. I can also first look at the other product. It's even more severe. So that's even not a standard case, but yeah, you have a range for where it's basically between those price points, 99 and 169. It's the same profit.
Frank, one question, like just to make it clear, like those two functions are based with a panel, with a UTRYME panel of approximately 100 people who did not try the product before. Is that right? Yeah, exactly. Very good. Cool. Those who did not try it. Very good. So, and so basically, if you have
if you do a pricing research, if this brand would have done it, we would probably recommend, hey, pick 99 cents or 1.19 for the other brand, for the other product, because you sell more, and with selling more, you expand your market share and your brand better. So if it doesn't mind which price you take the lower one, right? But then let's look at what testers think, right? And we put here basically the same assumptions. Again, it very much depends what you put in. But actually, for cocoa, the optimal price is now 140 basically, and the 99 cents is very suboptimal.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. This is amazing.
So basically, if you just do the pricing on the non-buyers, you optimize your profit on the first purchase, but you lose a lot of money on recurring customers.
I understand. So, in other words, Frank, in case of like people who tried the product before, we have a higher possibility to or a higher willingness to pay more for the product, right?
Exactly.
Great.
So it raises this. You can even look at the active number. It has the curve, the orange curve of the non-trialers was kind of linear. But here it raised, especially for the basically 119 and 139. It's now nonlinear. So the trialers think it's at least 119, but probably also 139 worth. Yeah. And everything else would be too cheap. Yeah.
Wow. Great.
So the optimal price for people who purchased it, obviously the product is pretty good. Yeah, because actually after trying it, they loved it even more. We would suggest 139 as an optimal price. So, and how to make a pricing strategy out of it is now strategy, right? It's an art. So one idea would be to fix and to always communicate at least 139 and try to grow market share by regular discount activities. Yeah. Because for non-trialers, you have a lower optimal price point. The problem with discounting is it also it levels your price expectation. Yeah. So I would guess that it's probably even better to do a.
Frank, someone is asking if you can switch between the two products again.
Yeah. So that's a verbal herbal. Yeah. So at this optimal price, 58% want to buy it. And the Cocoa Passion, 60.
How do you explain this? That these different curves.
I mean,
for nearly the same product. It's not the same, yeah.
It's not the same. It's basically a taste, right? So cocoa and herbal passion. It's
Okay, so this means that the people are willing to pay more for the cocoa version.
cocoa. It's the optimum is at the same price, right? So the optimum is at 139.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are slight differences, but at the end, both products raising willingness to buy and to pay after trial, and they end up, at least for the settings, at the same optimal price point. And as a strategy, I could think of implementing basically a recommended price of like 150 or 149, and then discounting it, especially in the first years or year. This would be one idea, but open to discuss, of course.
Plus, like you would recommend like to do a lot of sampling as well concerning these results, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sampling is even better because you don't basically give a bad price anchor. But the question is, how much can you sample, right? So, okay, but yeah, I'm not a sampling specialist, but basically, if you can sample large percentage of the target group, it's probably a good thing, right?
Great. Very, very interesting. So actually, we've got one of the founders of Fermentea in the audience as well. Hello, Alex. So I think it's quite interesting for you as well. And yeah, I'm very, very happy to have like those insights as well. Thank you.
Also, let me summarize. We have this herbal orange drink where you, before trial you have an optimum of giving the settings of 99 cents, and after trial at 139, which is quite different. It's also different for cocoa passion. Both products are good because they have rebuying power and increase the willingness to buy and to pay. And yeah, the strategic conclusions are that price demand curve changes drastically after trial. It might be different per product, so it's worth testing always. And as a result, yeah, if you only rely on do price testing on non-trialers, you simply optimize your pricing on first purchase and you typically will lose money on existing or recurring customers. So that were the conclusion for today. And yeah, we are still open for discussion. Are there questions left?
Someone is asking, how do you explain that testers are willing to pay more for a product?
So basically, the willing to pay more is an interesting phrase, because actually more people are willing to pay for a certain price. Yeah, that's the product. Trying the product will increase the likelihood to pay a certain price. You saw this curve, price demand curve. It was just uplifted. And that's basically the value perception increased, right? Before they saw a drink, and people were unsure whether they will like it or not. Yeah, so that's why the demand curve dropped. They were willing to try it. So I don't know, 2 or 3 people at a very low price were willing to try it, which is okay. Yeah. So the product seems to be attractive, but it's even more attractive when you try it because obviously it tasted good. Right.
Sweet.
So in any case, as we are coming to the end here, reach out to either me at Frank at super.tools regarding pricing questions, or reach out to Andre Moll at am@utryme.com for questions on the sampling platform. Any last word, Andre?
Well, actually, I've got a final question, because probably like the founders of Fermentea, they will ask me. We found out that the willingness to pay for one product is higher than for the other, right? Concerning the fact that those two products are like from the same range, would you suggest to put the same price level for those products, besides the fact that people are willing to pay more for one of the two varieties? Which is your opinion?
So the optimal price for the trialers was the same.
Okay.
139. The optimal price for the non-trialers, they were actually a range. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, I would have the same price, and I would align that. And this was probably 119 as an optimal price for non-trialers.
Great, thank you.
Very nice. Again, we are here to talk. Reach out to us. Thanks so much, Andre, for making this possible. And yeah, have a great day to all of you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Reach out to us.